Hello, Pam Dubois, Dream Real Estate TV. Today I have with me special guest Christine Turner. And
Hi.
hi, she's a first time home buyer. And so we're so excited to have her. We're going to talk about the home buying process and get some of our questions answered. Christine, thank you so much for being with us today. This is great. I love you being here. I love being
Yeah.
able to talk about the first time home buying process. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to learn and to move forward with this big milestone in my life. So I'm super excited to get some of my questions answered.
You're so welcome, and this is great. So first, tell us a little bit about your background. What do you currently do?
Yes, so currently I'm a multimedia designer. I work for the National Association of Realtors, ironically enough. And I'm really excited to move forward with purchasing a home. I'm 29 years old. I have been responsibly living at home with my parents since college graduation. Been saving and making sure that I've been using this time at my parents' home to my advantage.
Oh, good for you.
So that's what I've been doing.
So you're in a good position because you don't have to worry about giving notice, for
Yes,
leasing an apartment or whatever. And
exactly.
and I think one of the things that you were telling me, your parents says, okay, you've got to be out by when?
I have to move out before I turn 30, which is next March. So I really want to start looking towards the fall. Um, I know for me, the summer months, I'm just continuing to bulk up as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I can't wait to have my own space. And I definitely feel that my timeline and my parents' timeline definitely aligned.
Well,
And it's not awkward at all. It's like, yes, it's time. It's time for me to make this move.
good for you. This is so great. So first, tell me, do you have questions that you're thinking about that comes to mind when you're thinking about buying your first home?
Yes. So my first question is, what should be my first step with this whole process? Because I know there are so many steps and I want to make sure that I at least take the first step correctly.
Right, right. And that's so important. A lot of times what happens is people get online and they start looking and it's like, wow, I like this one or I don't like
Yes.
this one. But as being seriously, the first step is to actually talk to a lender and
Okay.
see what you qualify for and what monthly payments you're comfortable with. Qualification and then also monthly payment that you're comfortable with makes a big difference. Like you may be able to qualify for this much, but you're
Mhm.
comfortable with this much of a monthly payment. So that really is the first step. And the one thing that you want to keep in mind is they can actually qualify you now based on what's going on with the current market and the current
Right.
interest rate now. But
Hmm.
when you find the home, then the interest rate may have changed because of the market and your payment may change, fluctuate a little bit. But yeah,
Mm.
definitely your first step would be to talk to a lender first. And
Right.
when you're talking to a lender, what you need to do is you need to get your current pay stubs, current bank statements for the last 30 days, and W-2s for the last couple years so they can
Hmm.
actually see what kind of down payments you have and
Hmm.
then your job history. And moving forward, like let's say you actually don't find a home for until 2 months down the road,
Right.
what happens is you can just update your pay stub. So now you're already pre-approved. You
Got
found
it.
out how much you can actually afford or what monthly payment you're comfortable with.
Hmm.
And then, once you find the home, he'll give you a new payment based on the current interest rate. And you're just going to update your pay stubs at that point. Does that
Got
make
it.
sense?
So, yeah, so the pre-approval lasts for like 30 days or
Yeah, it's usually
okay.
30 to 60 days,
Okay.
depending on the lender, but you're always going to have to update your current pay stub once you find and also the bank statements because those become dated. So
Right.
down the road, you'll have to update it once you find the house.
Okay, that definitely adds clarity for me because I wasn't sure if they really expired, but now that definitely makes sense because they need to make sure that what's happening on the back end is completely up to date for the home. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. What
Okay.
other
That's
questions do you have? One of the other question I think you had was about student loans.
Yes. Okay. So I'm in a position where I have saved a good amount of money, and I know there are some programs out there that could help with first time homebuyers who have student loans.
Mhm.
But in the back of my mind, I keep asking myself, should I pay down a significant chunk of my student loans before going into the home buying process? Or is it possible to do both at the same time? I'm just not sure which route to take.
Now, your student loans, are they in deferment or are you currently paying on them?
So I am currently paying my private ones, but due to the pandemic, the federal ones, they're at 0% till the end of the year.
Okay.
So they're just on pause because of the COVID conditions.
Okay. Yeah, my advice to you there would actually talk with a lender. The lender will actually give you more advice as to what to do with the student loans and
Okay.
also as far as the programs that are out there. So the best thing to do is actually talk with the lender. And just remember, as you're talking about loans and things like that, don't make any new debts, no new credit cards,
Right.
no new car payment,
Right.
so you want to keep all that for the approval process and no new debts.
Awesome. That's good news because my car is paid off already
Awesome.
and I have really good credit. So that makes me happy that I'm on the right track at least.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So your next step, you've gotten pre-approved,
Yep.
right?
Pre-approved.
Yeah.
Gonna talk to the obviously talking to the lender. Also will ask questions about my options with the student loan debt. Um, my next question is, what's the process like with hiring a realtor? How can I find one? Like, how would you recommend that?
Ah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. And a lot of times, family, friends, they have realtors that, they can recommend to you. I think the
Mhm,
best thing to do when you're looking for a realtor is to look around, look online,
mhm,
and interview a few realtors. You want to actually be comfortable with this realtor that you're looking for
mhm.
because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, right?
Right.
You're going to be going out looking at properties, and then also you're going to be going through the entire process once you find the property. So you
Mhm.
want to work with somebody that's knowledgeable,
Right.
somebody that's caring, and somebody that's actually going to have your back and hold your hand through this process because right now you're a first time home buyer, right?
Right.
So you want your hands held the entire process.
Yes.
And you want to make sure that you interview someone that can do that for you, not someone that's too busy, that don't have the time to actually hold your hand through the process. Does that make
Right.
sense?
That does for sure because um it's definitely I feel nervous, but at the same time there's a lot of excitement, so that definitely is helpful for me to actually interview them. So I'm definitely going to do that.
I definitely would do that. Don't choose, anybody. There's a few people that I have that I can actually give you that you can
Yeah.
actually go ahead and interview
Mhm.
and
That'd be
talk
awesome.
with them. Yeah, and don't ever feel obligated to choose one or the other. You have to be comfortable with this person. This is about you and
Right.
the biggest transaction that you're making. So you have to be comfortable with this person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Um I
And
do have another question.
sure.
So how long can it take me to find a home? I do know there's a bit of a house shortage going on. So on average, like how long do you think it could take right now with what's going on in the world?
Okay. Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question because
Yeah.
it's very hard to say how long it will take, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with the market right now? The market is really super busy right now. I think one of the things that you want to do as you're moving forward is to choose an area
Okay.
that you actually um, are interested in. Like you
Mhm.
want to be in this area.
Mhm.
And then also, a lot of times we tell you basically things that you need in a home and
Right.
not that you want because a lot of times we want this, we want that,
Yeah.
so many things that we actually want, but we don't
Mhm.
necessarily need it. So if you got actually break it down to what you need right now, and
Mm.
then also the area that's real important. That's real important. But moving forward, when once you start looking and say you're Are you thinking about the spring market, January? Are you thinking the fall? Would you rather do it sooner than later?
I'm thinking about fall
Okay.
because I would like to be in my new place before my birthday in March of next year. So I personally feel like waiting till January is a little bit late.
Yeah.
So I feel that the fall would be a nice sweet spot for me. That way I have fall and winter to
Okay.
get through
Okay.
it.
So you really want to start looking maybe in August,
Yeah.
September, October, in those months right there, so you can actually be in
Yes.
before the holidays.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. And again, going back to the market, it really depends on what the market is going to be like. When you actually start looking, and if it still is busy, we still see that the inventory is very low.
Yeah.
And right now, the big thing is actually once you talk to your realtor, your realtor is actually going to tell you how to win an offer.
Okay.
What are the things that you need to do, whether you need to actually, go above full price, how many other offers are currently on the property. And that's one of the good things basically is to
Mhm.
talk with your realtor. It's like, I like this, this home. I would like to know, how many offers that's on the property because that actually really helps you when you're writing an offer.
Yeah.
How many offers that's on the property, how many people you're competing with, whether you have a
Mhm.
chance of getting it or not. Going below sales price right now is definitely not something that you want to do because you're going to lose out on the offer
Yeah.
because so many people are just overbidding and going above the price right now. And the
Right.
other thing is advising you to do like a pre-home inspection. So
Mhm.
you can do the home inspection before you actually write the offer and know what's going on with the property.
That's
That
awesome.
way, when you write the offer, you don't have to actually put home inspection in your actual offer. That makes it more enticing to the seller. They're like, okay, this
Mm.
person doesn't want a home inspection,
Mhm.
So and that's good. So you'll find
That's
out
good.
beforehand, do a pre-home inspection beforehand, and that will help
Mhm.
you as far as moving forward with a strong offer. And then of course also uh, down payment. Down
Right.
payment makes a difference.
Yes.
And earnest money deposit makes a difference. And you said that your loan,
Mhm.
your credit is immaculate, which is
Yes.
great.
Yes.
You're going to get your pre-approval quickly, and
Mhm.
it's going to be pretty clean. So that's going to be great for you also.
Yes.
And you can settle pretty much anytime because you don't have a lease to get out of. So you can settle
Mhm.
if the seller wants to settle in 30 days, you can settle in 30 days. If the seller wants to settle in 60 days, you can settle in
Right.
60 days. So you're in a great
Yeah.
position. Yeah.
Thank you. That kinda, leads me to my next question, which is, like, how are the closing costs determined? Because I've seen that and, like, I know of the down payment, but then there are closing costs involved, and I've always wondered who determines how much that is.
Okay. And that's a good question. So the closing costs basically in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, is one of the highest in the country, apparently.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it is. The property taxes and things like that is all part of your closing costs. But
Okay.
what happens is we try to estimate about 3.5 to 4% of the sales price for the closing cost. And
Mhm.
so your closing costs basically involves your transfer and recordation taxes, which goes to the state of Maryland. And if you're buying in Montgomery County also has transfer and recordation taxes.
Okay.
You've got appraisal fees that go to the lender. You've got home inspection fees that goes to the home inspector, and all that is part of your actual closing costs.
Right.
Underwriting fees. There's an underwriter that underwrites your loan. You have
Mhm.
underwriting fees. Um, all those things basically are part of your 3.5 to 4% of the closing cost.
Okay.
And it is, it's kind of like anything, no matter where you go, there's always taxes involved. You've got to
Yeah.
pay taxes, right? And
Yes.
so it's just like buying property in Montgomery County, state of Maryland. Basically, it's, just allocate about 3.5 to 4% for your
Okay.
closing costs. It goes to all, and then also the title company. You have a title company, and this will probably bring up another question. So once you find the property, your agent writes the offer, you get
Right.
accepted.
Mhm.
The contract then goes to the lender
Okay.
and title company. So the title
Right.
company or settlement attorney basically
Mhm.
They actually will do a title search on the property and make
Mhm.
and check out liens and things like that in the
Mhm.
back end. So their fees are also included in that 3.5 to 4%
That makes
of the close
sense.
price. Yeah, so there's a lot of parties that's involved, and all those fees actually come up to about 3.5 to 4%.
That makes sense. Okay, I didn't know about all the pieces that go into it. I just knew there was something else beyond the down payment.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The closing cost is basically, and in a different market where you actually have a market where it's a buyer's market, you
Yeah.
may be able to get the seller to pay for the closing costs, and a lot of times
Really?
you
Okay.
can. Yeah. But with the market it is right now, and it
Mhm.
being a seller's market,
Yeah.
sellers are not going to want to pay closing costs. Even as a
Yeah.
first-time home buyer, it'll be very hard to get a seller to pay closing costs right now. You can try it. You may not win the offer. That's the thing. It's
Right.
chance of not getting the offer, right? So if you have funds for closing costs and you can do
Right.
it, it's
Mhm.
better to actually win the offer. You love the house, not ask for the closing costs so you don't lose the offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. I could definitely see that, and especially with our market still having not as many homes out there, I could see how a seller would not want to pay for the closing costs because it's in their favor to go with someone else with that. Okay.
Right. You are so good because you're so understanding. You're going to be such a great buyer for a realtor working with you. My gosh, because you understand so much.
I'm trying, like, you're explaining it so well. I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting it now. I'm getting the steps," because it was always, I knew some of the pieces, but they were jumbled up. I didn't know the correct order of how it would play out.
Yeah.
Um, I do have another question, like,
Sure.
so I know we talked about speaking with the lender
Hmm.
when it comes to my question with student loans, like if I should um, pay that first or do both at the same time. So how would I approach knowing how much I can afford for the home? How do I go about that?
Okay. I can give you a few lenders that you can actually talk to. But
Mhm.
yeah, what you want to do again, there are so many lenders out there again, and I think using a referral basis
Yeah.
best because that way you're getting somebody that's worked with this person before and know their background, know that they're good with what they're doing, and
Mhm.
so I can refer you to a few lenders. You can choose which one you want to.
That would be
Pretty
awesome.
much the interest rate is going to be the same overall
Mhm.
because of your credit situation. You've got
Yeah.
great credit and your
Yeah.
income, so you're not going to have to worry about that. You're going to get the
Mhm.
market rate.
Mhm.
And just, basically choosing somebody again and choosing somebody that you like and
Yeah.
you're comfortable with makes, a big difference because moving ahead, this is, again, going back to this is a big process for you.
Yes.
It's a new process for you. And you want to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable with the
Absolutely.
person you're using. You don't want somebody that's too busy for you because you're going to
Mhm.
have questions,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. I know I'm definitely gonna want some hand holding.
Yeah. And that's what you want. Yeah, that's what you want. It's a big transaction.
And then, so let's say I'm there and I've found the home I want, and everything goes well, and I get the home that I really wanted. So, how long should one plan to stay in their home? And I'm asking that because in the back of my mind, I'm always open to relocation, not like super fast, but I'm open to it. And for me, I know personally, I would want to turn
Mhm.
my place into a rental property.
Okay.
So, like, how long should one stay in a home when they're going through this whole process?
Yeah, that's a great question, and actually, that's a great idea as far as turning it into a rental property.
Mhm.
Usually, they say one stays in their home 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're
Mhm.
actually going to rent it out
Mhm.
anyway, because it is an investment, right? It's like
Yeah.
money in the bank, basically. You just got to
Mhm.
remember you don't want to sell when the market's going down. You want to keep holding on to it and sell when the market is going up, or when the market,
Mhm.
and you're in a position to actually make money on that
Yeah.
investment. So if
Mhm.
you're thinking about holding on to it for a rental property, I think that's a great idea. I mean,
Okay.
it's a great idea. And then that way you can get it rented out, and
Mhm.
then buy another one.
Yeah.
That's a way to go.
That's good. Yeah, it was in the back of my mind because, like, I do plan one day to get married and things like that, and I just think of, oh, okay, well, what happens with this scenario and this, and that, and that was definitely helpful because at first, like maybe a year ago, I was thinking, oh, because I don't know what the future holds, maybe I shouldn't go into home ownership because I'm not sure where I'll be. But then I realized you have to live in the now and not think too much about the future,
Right.
like as far as where life could be. So I'm glad that I'm making this decision to move forward in this route.
Absolutely. And not just that, it's an investment. If you look at it
Mhm.
as an investment and you're going to
Yes.
hold on to it, you're going to rent it out later, then
Mhm.
yeah, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Even if
Uh,
the market tumbles and the prices go down, you just got to remember, just hold on to it until it comes back, because real estate always goes in cycles. It goes
yeah.
up, it comes down, it goes up. Just, yeah, just like the stock market, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't sell in when it's in down. Yeah. Any
Yeah.
other questions you have?
I have one more. So, how would you decide between the fixed rate or the adjustable rate for the mortgage?
Hmm, that's a good question if that's on your mind. So, what I would advise, and I'm sure the lender will also give you this information. So, the fixed
Mhm.
rate basically is your payment is always going to be fixed,
Right.
right? So, you don't have to even worry about your payment going up ever.
Right.
It's fixed. It's fixed for 30 years if you choose a 30-year mortgage.
Mhm.
It's fixed for 15 years if you choose a 15-year mortgage.
Mhm.
However, if you choose an adjustable rate mortgage, what happens is the interest rate can fluctuate, which means that your monthly payment can fluctuate going up and down.
Got
So even though you may have like a good teaser rate right now, the
Yeah.
interest rate are really low on the adjustable rate. The one
Mhm.
thing you have to keep in mind is it's not secure and it's not going to stay at that rate. It could bump up depending on what happens with the market, and your payment goes up. So it's just
Got it.
not a way that I would recommend
Right.
doing an adjustable rate, because
Yeah.
you don't want to have that happen. Even if
Yeah.
you get a smaller payment now, it could go way up. Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely would stick with the fixed rate then because
yeah.
the adjustable rate, it kind of reminds me of rent going up with like apartments every year. That's what it sounds like a little bit.
Right. You want to be secure and not have to worry about that monthly payment going up.
Yeah, I definitely would stick with the fixed rate. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, like you answered all of my questions that I had, and I definitely have like a clear mindset, and I have gained a lot of clarity and understanding with how this process goes. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. And then I can't thank you enough for your time.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I'm excited for you. This is like a big move, right?
Yes, it is.
So exciting. And I will actually get you a few realtors you can interview them.
Yes,
Also get you a couple lenders you can, go through and talk with them. That way you're comfortable with them and know that this is what you want. You want to be completely
yes.
comfortable through this process and not
That
have
would
to
be
worry.
so good.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
am so glad you
Pamela.
came on here. I am so happy we went through this process, and you're comfortable now, and
Yes.
this is great. And this actually will help other buyers out there that's thinking about buying and know what the process is, right?
Right, for sure.
And that's what
Thank
we're
you
all
so
about.
much, Pamela. Like this has been so awesome for me. Like I'm taking it all in and I'm excited to interview everyone and figure out where I want to go, like who I would like to go with as a realtor and things like that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for being on here and helping and giving. I love it. Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon. I will keep in touch with you. I'm going to actually
Yeah,
send you some information about realtors and lenders to
awesome.
connect with. And please always reach out to me if you have any questions.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much for being with us. Bye, you guys. If you have any questions about this process, please give us a call. We'll be happy to help. Pam Dubois, Dream Real Estate. God bless and have a great day. Bye bye.